Hi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Olivia and I am a runner at Florida State. I'm on the cross country and track team. I'm also a student pursuing medical school, majoring in biological sciences and also a minor in psychology. Today's video, I want to take you guys through how I balance both running and school, because obviously school isn't just trying to maintain my GPA, but it's doing all the things that I have to do in addition to get into medical school and just kind of learn the ropes. I'm going to take you guys through how I balance it, and if you're someone who maybe is trying to balance school with a job, or maybe another thing that you're passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about content creation, which is something that I'm starting to get into a little bit more, or maybe you're just passionate about a sport that you play, anything, you know, there's a lot of different things that we have to juggle in life. I have some tips for that, so that's what this video is going to be. And then I also just want to share with you guys a little bit more of the stuff I'm doing for medical school. I think it's pretty cool, and I haven't really shared it on this channel as much. I think I focused a lot on the running side, so I want to take you guys kind of through the school side and all the extracurriculars and cool things I'm doing. So let's get into it. So starting off with tips for balance, I think that this really helps for anyone who is an athlete, or maybe you identify as a student. For me, I think that being both a student and an athlete has really helped me in terms of identity, because not placing all of my eggs in one basket has really helped. I always try to be really 50-50 with athletics and academics, even though I enjoy probably the athletics a little bit more. Placing a lot of my identity also in school and focusing on being a good student helps keep me from getting burnt out in the running side, and honestly just helps me enjoy both. So I think that the more that you can add to your identity, the more you can do. You can have balance in your life and avoid burnout in anything. So for me, I identify, you know, as a student, as an athlete, as a friend, as, you know, someone who likes making YouTube videos, and there's so many other things that I've started getting into. So that's my first tip. If you're trying to balance different passions that you have, is really just place your identity in a lot of different areas, pursue a lot of different things, and find what works for you. Don't place all your eggs in one basket, but also don't pursue something half-heartedly. My next tip is kind of just like surrounding yourself with different circles of people. So I think my freshman year, I was super into the athletic world at FSU. All of my friends were pretty much friends I had from high school, or friends that I had from the team, or from people in other sports. And sometimes that can lead to burnout. And I think it's really good to just get out there, meet new people, surround yourself with different groups of people, and really just learn from other people's experiences. So now, of course, you know, I still have all my friends from athletics and from home, but I've also made friends in the classroom and just really have put myself out there in different spaces. So I think that's a really good way to find balance and really just look at the mental side of maybe the toll that being high performing in athletics and school takes. So how do you actually balance, you know, two different things like school and running time-wise? For me, I think sometimes it's a struggle, right? Like you have weights, you have practice, you have time that you're driving to practice, you have time that you're driving to trails, you have traveling. I think that's a really difficult thing. And when I first got to college, I was really bad about traveling and kind of doing what I need to get done, right? The past couple of weeks, I've been moving around quite a bit. I'm moving into my new apartment. I have been just staying at one place and another and still having things to get done, right? So it's become super important to me that I have a list. Every morning, I wake up, I write out my day, I plan my day, I make a to-do list. It sounds really anal, but I think it's super helpful for not even just like getting things done, but making sure that you're prioritizing the right things. So sometimes there's certain things I want to do, and then there's things that I need to do, and kind of just writing it all out for me helps me get everything done. So yeah, those are some of my tips. I think those really relate to not burning out if you're really trying to be successful in one area of your life, whether it's running, work, school, your career, whatever passion you have. Just really pursuing a lot of different things, surrounding yourself with different people, and just making sure that you make time for the right things and prioritize the right things. Which also means having fun. I think that was something I didn't do last semester. I was very much so just running in school. And this semester I want to make sure that I do prioritize, having fun at the same time, because that's important. And it helps from burning out, which ultimately helps you be more successful in everything. So now I'm going to talk about this year and all of the fun things that I'm doing kind of related to med school. So I started research back last year with the Year Out program at FSU, which is the undergraduate research program. And it's offered for freshmen and sophomores. So I didn't know about it my freshman year. I applied my sophomore year, and I started working with a professor, and she has been an incredible mentor to me. I am so grateful that I ended up with her, but we did research on older adult kinship caregivers and their support needs. So originally when I was looking into research, I was thinking maybe something sciencey with my major, but I found that this was really something that drew my interest and something that I actually thought was going to have an impact. So we worked through that all through the fall, and then I had a little presentation of the research, which was really cool. And now I've actually been hired as an undergraduate research assistant, and I've been doing interviews and just really continuing the research. And we're trying to just reach out to people who are older adult kinship caregivers, learn more about their experience, and we're really putting together resources that we can send to the state and really just help provide more support for these people, because it's a very underserved population. But it's a research that I've really enjoyed. I'm really excited to continue into this semester in the fall and hopefully have a final project and publication with that research. In addition to that, I know if you are pre-med, you know all about, clinical, right? Clinical is super important. You want to get experience with medicine. So this summer, I actually started volunteering in the mobility clinic at TMH. I was supposed to start in early May, but I broke my hip, so I was on crutches, wasn't able to do that. I couldn't walk patients, I couldn't walk myself, but I've gotten a lot of good time in at the hospital, gotten to talk to nurses and doctors and really just get an experience with the patients that has been super meaningful. And it's something that I really enjoy because I had a time period where I wasn't able to walk. And so when there's people that maybe are struggling after surgery or, one case or the other just can't walk or need assistance walking, I really have sympathy for that. Another thing that I've been doing is I started volunteering at the local Alzheimer's project as a respite volunteer. So essentially from 9 to 3 on weekdays, they offer this service for people who have family members with Alzheimer's to just have people hang out with them. And it's a really fun time. I get along so well with the guests there. We, do painting, we do music therapy, we just chat a lot about, running or whatever else I have to chat about. And yeah, there's dogs there. I love it. There's a dog named Livy, so she's super sweet. That's been a super great experience, and it's something that I've been really interested in since I was a kid. I've seen people in my life be affected by dementia, so it's nice to be able to offer some sort of relief to caregivers. And some other exciting things I've been doing: last spring, my teammate Ava actually started Run Your City in Tallahassee. So we started a chapter of this free program run by us FSU track and cross country students to give local elementary school kids the opportunity to run and have coaching for free. So we had that program for 6 weeks last spring. I got to coach. I'll put some pictures in here. It was an incredible experience. The kids were amazing, and it was really cool to just see kids enjoy running in a way that I think maybe they hadn't experienced before, because sometimes running is a punishment. And for me, when I was a kid, it was really introduced to something that was fun. And so I always want to give it back to other kids. This is something that is actually really enjoyable. And so we incorporated lots of games and things like that. But yeah, that's something I've been doing, and I will be continuing it this fall and spring. So we're starting in September again for 6 weeks, and then we'll have another 6 weeks in the spring. And I'm also running the social media for that, so that's been super cool. Another thing that I have been doing since November is mentoring athletes through Athlete to Athlete. So I meet with athletes, we have sessions, and we really focus a lot on the mental side of running, which is something I really struggled with all throughout middle and honestly most of high school, maybe until like the end of my senior year. I was a nervous wreck, and now in college I've really just established a really strong mental game when it comes to running. So I like sharing that with athletes, and you know, just forming those relationships is super cool. I always look forward to my meetings. So that's something I've been doing. We'll be continuing to do it for the rest of college. I love it. I really enjoy it. And lastly, I think this is the last thing, I started an ambassador job with Athlete to Athlete. So essentially I recruit other athletes from different sports. Right now I'm working on volleyball to join the program, and yeah, I just reach out to people, kind of tell them about the program, and it's been awesome, super fulfilling. I think that's everything, but yeah, I'm excited. This year I am taking physics, which is the first time I've ever taken physics. I'm pretty nervous about it, but I think that just going into the year, having a new apartment, having like my own place, I think that's going to be great. Just like setting up a good study space, having really good routines. I think, you know, third year of college, you kind of got it down. So I'm looking forward to physics. I also am taking cell structure and function, which I think is going to be a bit difficult, but same thing, just going to have to create a really good routine with that, especially with cross and track. But I honestly think that I've got that down. And then potentially taking a lab. And then the rest of my classes are pretty easy. I think I'm taking some like nutrition, food class. Those are my classes. Physics is a prereq for medical school. It'll be on the MCAT. It's a really big part of the MCAT. I actually took biochemistry this summer, which is also a huge part of the MCAT. Future plans, I will be studying for the MCAT next summer, really dedicating my summer to studying because that is a really crucial part of the application process. Of course, GPA is also super important. Right now my GPA is a 3.989, and I got an A- in Orgo 1. You know, as much as I think it's awesome to have a 4.0, and as much as I wanted one, and as much as I'm like a high achieving person, I think that was one of the best lessons for me about, you know, being a perfectionist and being this type A person. I did everything in that class, right? I think I learned the most in that class than I have in any class in college, and I honestly enjoyed that class more than any class in college. I really loved it. I poured myself into it. Still didn't get an A, but it was like by a really small amount too, which was really frustrating for me, especially someone who just had this goal of like, I want a 4.0, I want this really high MCAT score. But now I just think like, you know, you have to give things your best and understand that sometimes your best is just like your best, and that's what you have to give. And there are other victories, like I really enjoyed the class and I really learned a lot, which will help me for the MCAT. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I do plan on taking a gap year since I'm taking the MCAT next year, and during my gap year I'm hoping to get certified as an MA and then hopefully work a full-time job. Oh, I totally forgot. I did shadowing like for 3 days. I was shadowing a primary care doctor. Such a cool experience. I got to obviously like chat with a bunch of patients, which was super cool. And I got to see how all of these physical exams were done, how the doctor kind of like conducted these procedures. Me and the doctor got to talk a lot about different blood work and what it meant, which was super interesting to me as someone who's had tons and tons of blood work. So really enjoyed that experience. I got to see different procedures done. I got to see different like skin diseases and things like that, which was kind of interesting. I'm really interested right now in dermatology and also radiology since I've broken so many bones. But yeah, that's also super important if you know anything about medical school, you know, shadowing, clinical, Other volunteering is super important. That's just kind of a video on how I'm doing, what med school's looking like. If you are pre-med, you know it is a tough road, but I'm very passionate about this career and I'm really excited for it, as difficult as it's going to be. And I've really enjoyed the process so far. It's something I'm really interested in learning about. I definitely want to go into a field that has interaction with patients. I think that is super important to me, and it's something that I've enjoyed through my clinical experience and through the shadowing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to give more updates as to kind of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how I'm handling everything, because sometimes it's a lot, but I really am excited for the future. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with you guys. I'm really looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be the best year in college, hopefully so far in my life. I think that would be good. I'm 20 now, so new decade, and I think it's going to be a really good year. I'm so excited for school. I'm honestly excited for school to start, just to start learning, like kind of getting into that routine again. I know when tests come, I'm going to probably say the opposite, but obviously super excited for running, super excited for all my teammates to get back, all my friends to get back. So yeah, it's going to be a great year. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if any of those tips helped you.